just seemed like if you watch Chennai the other day, they got around 60 runs in the first 10 overs, and then every over after that was double figures. Today looked ominously similar. After the 10th over, 11, 12, 13, 14, all went for double figures, and you're thinking, is it going to happen again? And then back comes Ozari Joseph with a 1-run over and a wicket, and then the next over goes for just 4, and suddenly the brakes are on, and what could have been, again, a 190, 200 type total ends up at 169. You can have a look at that last bit, 8.8 and 169 for 5. A little bit of a kick from captain Ravindra Jadeja, looking more like the free-stroking Jadeja we know. But the story of the innings has to be Ruturaj Gaikwad. Failure after failure, and then you knew you had to stick with him, keep faith, and he repaid that with a fabulous 73. Welcome to Cricbuzz Live, halfway through the second game of Super Sunday between Chennai and Gujarat. I'm joined by Michael Vaughan and Lisa Sthalekar. Lisa, it seemed almost inevitable with what we've seen in the past from Ruturaj Gaikwad, but he just looked as if he had lost the plot for much of the season so far.
Yeah, he did, but sometimes you need a little bit of luck, don't you? If you think about, there was a point where I think Rashid Khan had moved a deep fine leg. He had got a top edge. It went to fine leg, bounced in front of the boundary rope, went for 4. If the fielder was there, he would have been out. But the field wasn't there, and he went on with his scoring. So just those little things sometimes can be all that a player needs just to get them going. And he didn't disappoint, didn't he? It was just really disappointing the way he got out. It was actually a very similar shot to the one that he's playing in that picture. He went for the short side and managed to find the fielder. But yeah, he looks a lot better. Hopefully that means for Chennai and their fans that he gets going now for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, it certainly was, Michael, and you do expect something like that from him. If only he had support or another huge partnership. He did get it from Raidu, but another big one like they had between Dubey and Uthappa the other night, it could have been another 190, 200.
Yeah, it could, but it's an innings that kind of it stuttered, it started, and then it stuttered and it started again. It wasn't a plain sailing innings, but Gujarat, he's too good a player. Lisa just mentioned the word luck, and I do think it plays a massive part in T20 cricket in particular, because these players have got to take so many risks. They've got to play so many strokes. They know that they've got to try and get the boundary in the first 6. They've got to try and take on all the bowlers, and all it takes is just that little bit of the rub of the green to go your way, and you end up with a score. He's a player that's got all the game. He's got all the shots. He just needed that element of fortune, and he's put his team. I think it's around par. I do. I think it's absolutely on par, this score. The big boundary one side, the pitch is okay, but that big boundary, it offers the opportunity for a captain in terms of his bowling to make sure that you're bowling to get hit to that big side. But a clever batting unit will use it as an advantage to hit 2s, and plenty of them, because you can just knock it and run easy 2s, and then you bring the fielders in and then you whack it over the top of them. So it's quite a smart ground that you need to play smart cricket on. And as I say, I think the Chennai Super Kings, if they were having to face Hardik Pandya in this batting lineup, I would give the Gujarat Titans the advantage. But without Hardik, I really do think it's an even game.
But also not just par in terms of what we feel about the surface, but Michael Vaughan, your score, 174, just 5 away from it. So as far as our prediction game goes, well done, Michael Vaughan. And your team.
Well done, team.
Yeah, there you go. Always gives credit to the team. It's a team
the
game.
Little minions, good on them.
Yeah, it's a team game.
Especially when they came in hungover from last night's Easter celebrations. They've done well.
Yeah, but again, I don't think Chennai would have got there had it not been for that partnership, because Robin Uthappa played so well the previous game. Moeen Ali is just an innings away from, it was a situation tailor-made for his kind of batting, but Ambati Raidu, almost from ball 1, seemed to be switched on.
Yeah, maybe even the previous game when Shivam Dubey actually went ahead of him. That sometimes might be enough to put a bit of fire in the belly and go, hang on, I'm still good enough to be able to play in that number 3 position and still be able to score runs. And he did. He did look at ease. And it was almost like he was one step ahead of the bowlers, wasn't he? He knew exactly what they were doing. He was able to execute his skill, and he was able to really ensure that both players were going at the same time, which sometimes doesn't always happen in the T20 format.
Having said that, it was probably good manoeuvring from the think tank, Jadeja, Dhoni, Fleming, all of them, that this time around they saw the situation and they said, let's not get carried away by what Dubey did last time. This is more a Raidu type scenario.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player of great skill. He played some wonderful pull shots against Lockie Ferguson, who's obviously bowling very quickly, kind of hung back, right back on his stumps, giving himself that extra yard to play the short ball nicely. I think of the disappointment of however many's in the ground, 30, 40,000, is the fact that Dhoni didn't come out to bat. They were queuing up all afternoon to make sure they got into the stadium to hopefully see MS Dhoni come out and strike a couple of helicopter-style sixes. And I guess that's the reality of where MS is now in his career, that he wasn't thrown out there for the last few overs to go and strike a few, which is disappointing for us all and all those supporters in the stadium. But Raidu is that player that you kind of watch on a given day and think, oh, he hasn't got a lot, and then all of a sudden he comes into life. Is a really high class player. I love the way he opens that back blade up to kind of open both sides of the wicket. Is a tremendous player when he plays like he did today.
Just on Raidu as well, the fact that I thought tactically it was quite smart as well, because he's so good against spin. And Rashid Khan, I think that his first 2 overs he went for none for 20 odd, whereas maybe Shivman Dubey would have struggled against the class of Khan. So I like the little play there as well. I thought that worked really well tactically for Chennai.
Yeah, if we throw back to the catch he took the other night, it's not the kind of catch you expect from Ambati Raidu, flying through the air, possibly one of the contenders for catch of the season. And maybe that's just given him an extra fillip and told him, look, you're one of the young guys, Michael.
Yeah, or it surprised him that it stuck. One of the two. He's not in there to be a spring chicken. He's there to get runs, and he's got the runs today and giving his team a chance of getting the victory.
What about the bowling? Did it live up to expectation as far as that total is concerned? We talked about the sheer firepower of Lockie Ferguson, 4 overs, none for 46. Alzari Joseph really gave a good showing. Shami was brilliant up front. Maybe he would have liked a couple of more wickets for that showing. But Lisa, Alzari Joseph playing his first game. You generally give someone a game or two to settle down. He didn't need more than a delivery.
No, he didn't, and he's coming straight off 3 tests against England, and he picked up 10 wickets in that test match, and it's almost like probably he's done his workload, he's got a good line, good lengths, he's got good rhythm, and now he can come into the T20 format. It's a good way to probably come into T20 cricket from test, and then all you have to do is make some subtle changes, but he's had an impact straight away. Just like his debut match, not as good as his debut match, but certainly he was able to trouble them with the extra pace that he does generate.
Were you a little surprised, Michael, that they didn't consider going to any other bowler, or did you think it was absolutely fine the way Rashid handled it? They had the options of Tewatia, Vijay Shankar, who they could have gone to even without Hardik being there. Yeah,
maybe, particularly with that big side. Using another slow bowler, but you've got what you think are your bankers. Lockie Ferguson, you would have thought is his banker, but he's had a day where the ball's travelled, being hit for 46. I'll speak again about Mohammad Shami. I think he's an incredible bowler. He's just a pure bowler to watch. The way that he just runs in and he just releases that ball, it comes out with a load of pace on it, but it's that length, that in-between length as a batter. Do you go forward? Do you stay back? Do you play from the crease? Do you kind of try and maneuver your feet towards it to try and put him off his line and length, but then he's got that sharp bouncer as well. He gets the ball just to maneuver either way. He's a fantastic bowler to watch. I mean, in Test cricket, I've seen him over here last summer bowl some amazing spells, but in T20 cricket, you would think he's the kind of bowler that you should be able to line up because he's very consistent, but he just subtly changes his angles and changes his pace. And because he's got that short, sharp delivery that can push a batter back, it's difficult, and he always seems, if there's any movement in a surface, he'll find it. He's just got the skill and the fingers on the seam. Whatever he does, I'm not a bowler, I've no idea what they do, but whatever he does, it works because he always seems to find a little bit of movement.
I wonder in response what Chennai will have. But Lisa, let me get your thoughts and Shami before we have a look at Chennai's bowling to try and defend 169.
Yeah, no, totally agree with what Michael had said, and the fact that with the new ball, we've seen in the previous match, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar being able to swing it. Mohammad Shami is different. He does get the ball to nibble around, and what that does is it does really challenge both the inside and the outside edge of the bat. So from a batting perspective, you're starting to worry: am I going to nick it or am I going to be LBW? And that's a good thing, or bowled. And you can see the amount of wickets that he gets because he bowls stump to stump and he moves it around. So class player, doesn't matter what team you put him in, he tends to perform well for him.
We're not sure if, Matthew Wade's definitely not there. So they will have a new opening combination. We're not sure if Saha will be thrown straight in like for like replacement, but Chennai's bowling, if you just look at the makeup of the bowling, certainly their slow bowlers will play a role. Thikshana was outstanding last time. Mukesh Chaudhary has been a little expensive. The experience of Jordan and Bravo, Michael, who's the key for you in this innings if they were to defend the score?
I think the skipper. I think when the skipper uses himself, the seamers are all quality seamers. I think Sana will be a massive key. Jordan has got this reputation of bowling well at the end. I'd question that. I think he can travel towards the back end. The likes of Bravo and Jadeja, the experienced pair, they'll be able to definitely get the batters hitting to that bigger side. They'll certainly create the angles and bowl into, particularly Jadeja, or bowl into the surface to make sure that he's getting hit to that bigger side. So I think particularly those two experienced pros, when you're trying to defend what is looking like a pass score, you need your senior pros to step up to the plate.
Has that been the one issue for Ravindra Jadeja as far as his bowling is concerned? Because batting is just about expressing yourself, fielding, you react to what comes to you. But in terms of bowling, the key is, as a captain out on the field, when you bowl yourself, as Michael just said, kind of can decide often the fate of the game.
Yeah, and that's why all-rounders are really important. And we're seeing in this match, Rashid Khan skippering, and so Jadeja as well. Obviously, Rashid Khan being the substitute skipper because of Hardik Pandya's injury. But they can drive the energy. And you would think, given how Jadeja was able to finish the innings off with a couple of lusty blows, maybe that will just give him a little bit more confidence to be able to execute. Obviously, got the bigger side of the boundary to bowl to. I think even Mo and Ali might play a role. I think they'll use their slower bowlers a little bit more effectively than what the Titans did in the first innings.
Yeah, and Thikshana didn't play, remember, the first couple of games. And once he's come in, particularly the last time around, he was extremely effective in helping them defend what obviously was a very large total. This time they'll have to try and treat it as a large total. I can confirm to you that it is, of course, Riddhiman Saha who's come out to bat with Shubman Gill. So it's just Wade out, Saha in, so like for like replacement. We have got our prediction right, so no more predictions for a power play needed, just in terms of which side you're leaning, Michael. 169 enough?
I honestly have no idea. I'm completely on the fence on this one. I'll go for the defence. I like the rock star Jadeja, so I'm saying that the yellows are going to defend it.
Yeah, Michael did say without Hardik, that might just be an X factor. So fair enough. We'll give it 52-48 or maybe a little bit more. Lisa, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go for the newcomers. I'm going to go for Gujarat. Let them keep their winning ways.
Well, I too, I somehow I'm sitting with Michael on that one. It's just Hardik's made himself such an integral presence at number 4. Wondering if Abhinav Manohar going in there and one extra new batsman coming in, one less batter effectively with Joseph coming in for Hardik, all that balance changes. So all we know is the jury is out and we have no clue which way it's going to go. First few overs should tell the story. By 10th over, should definitely tell a story, and we'll try and tell that on Cricbuzz Combox. For now, that's all we have on Cricbuzz Live.